Stand for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone, to Monday, February 1st. If you have any questions or business with this body tonight, come up to the microphone, give us your name and address, and state your business, please. We'll call the roll, please.
Cedar.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Kinsfater.
Here.
Kleeman.
Here.
Cuffa.
Here.
Laporte.
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We'll go to consent agenda for A, City Council minutes of January 18th, 2016, regular meeting, recommendation approved, and B, accept letters of resignation from Beautification Commission, except with regrets.
Motion to approve A and B as presented, Your Honor.
Support.
Motion is made, supported. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will go to 5. We're going to have a public hearing tonight. I'm going to open this public hearing. It's a signed variance request in the zone, the Downtown Redevelopment District, the Warwater LLC. We have the petitioner here tonight. Mr. Paul, do you want to come up and kind of give us a synopsis of what's going on here?
Sure. Good evening. Chris Paul, representing Warwater LLC. That resides at 201 North Riverside, Suite C12. We've applied for a sign variance for a couple of banner flags that we have produced, and we put out street side during hours of operation, which is limited to currently Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every evening we bring them back in, put them away, shutter them up for the night. Seems to help us draw a lot of attention and business into the area. One of the bigger problems down at the Plaza is trying to let everybody know where you are so they can find us. It seems to have helped quite a bit. So we're requesting for some special use to be able to do so properly.
How many signs you talking here, Chris?
Currently have 4 banners, which we bookend the sidewalk out front towards the end of the courtyard on the southern side of the new courtyard, and then we have 2 that we bookend just outside our rear entrance. It's about 100 feet off of 3rd Street up towards the buildings.
If your timeline goes as hoped, when do you think or anticipate that you're going to have enough significant, I'm going to call it construction for a better word, going on that like your permanent signs would be in place?
Current timelines are projecting us, if all goes well, September this year.
September.
Yeah, we'll be under construction and well underway. And I think by that point in time, everybody will have a real good idea where we are.
So the number of days that you're requesting, you would take a little lesser number? Because you think because planning hasn't seen a site plan or anything yet. Have you decided what the total concept's going to be, or?
We have a really good general concept prior to going to paying for full design and engineering work to be done in the facility. We're going to be submitting in front of the zoning group this month on what our general plans are, what that lays out with the multi-use for second floor residential, the main brewery, where it's going to lay out, what the outside of the building will look like. From there, we'll do more detailed plans.
Well, I think it's a great thing to have something new downtown, going to draw people to the area. My only concern is if we okay this, we set a precedent for the other businesses on the back side of the mall. And granted, we're only looking at 2 signs on each side, but and I understand we're losing more businesses down there too. So we got to do something in a hurry. A big open downtown, nothing in it. But Your Honor, I just question the length of it in setting a precedent.
I would agree with Member LaFord. First of all, Chris, my hat's off to you for making this investment and doing it in St. Clair. And I think that this body needs to do everything that it possibly can to assist you in your success. I have a history with the planning commission where I served that before I came on council, and we worked real hard with the DDA on downtown development, the form-based zoning that encompasses the DDA district up 3rd Street and up Clinton Avenue. And part of the biggest struggles that we had was the signs. We had a mess in St. Clair with signs all over the place. So we were pretty hard getting what we felt a uniform and fair ordinance on signage. So again, I agree with Member Laporte. We definitely want to help you out and do something. I just struggle with the length of time with that request. And I don't care about the 4 signs because I see the 2 in the front. I didn't notice the ones in the back. So that's just the discussion for me tonight, is trying to wrap my mind around the length of time.
Yeah, and I can appreciate
Yeah.
that. The last thing anybody wants is to, there's been a lot of work done and put together to kind of get some controls and direction going for the city and the different areas down there. Along with that, as businesses come and time evolves, it's hard to get everything right up front. And
You're
know how it's
exactly
gonna
right.
go.
Yeah, that's
And I'm a process engineer by trade, so I understand, having to go through proper due diligence and having guidelines and structure in place. I'm here today just asking for you to take a look at what we're doing, what our needs are, what we're looking at moving forward, what's best for the city and everybody involved. My request is, that I have the ability to do that 4 days a week for the full calendar year. Our intent is to be far ahead of that we would never need that. With construction and change, it's hard to see what's coming down the road. It's a lot easier to put that in now and discuss it than to come back to the table later again and try and figure some things out. Part of that request is that it's reviewed by this panel or council annually as needed. So if there's a lot of other businesses that go through the effort of having these types of signs made, go through the effort of putting them out and applying for ordinances to have them allowed to do the same thing, and it gets out of control and the council takes a look at it, or the zoning committee says it's time for a change. Obviously, I'd be grouped into that. But for now, I'm asking for support.
What's the plan, Chris, for the mall to put up signage on the north side and on the south side of the parking lot? I mean, they used to have a big sign in the center.
Right.
So obviously, that's a courtyard now. I mean, have you approached the mall association with putting up signage? Because I'm sure there's lots of companies out there that would, or in the mall, that would like some sort of signage out front and maybe even out back, or, I'm just thinking of the north end of the parking lot and the south end of the parking lot with, like signs, what I mean.
Correct. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I guess I'd have to ask Mr. Sign Guy here if that's even legal to do in St. Clair. I have to think that it is.
You
right?
pointing to me?
Well, yeah, you're the sign guy here.
We worked on signs on the planning commission for a couple of years,
2
and
years.
the Plaza always had advertising. Every
Right.
business in the mall was advertising, listed on a marquee in front of I think in the courtyard, or the whatever it was called back then.
Right.
Well, you remember,
I don't know if that would ever happen again with the redesign of the courtyard, but I would think that we're kind of getting off the beaten path here a little bit, but
Well,
I would think somewhere in the plaza that the association would want a sign to advertise
I
the
did
businesses.
have the
that are in.
opportunity to talk to someone on the Plaza board just this past week. They are putting directories on both sides of the plaza, inside the plaza, and then long-term, they want a sign on each end, north end and south end. The problem with Warwater is nobody knows it's there. I talked to somebody that lives literally a block away from your place of business, and they have no idea where in the plaza it is. I think putting the flags out there is a good idea. Setting a precedence, I'm not sure if it's setting a precedence. I think we take it on a case-by-case basis. Obviously not everyone's gonna put a sign in the courtyard and we're gonna allow it, but, people need to know where Warwater is. It's a destination place in St. Clair. It's been in the paper for how many times in the past month? People wanna know where Warwater is. And I think we'd be putting the business at a disadvantage. I think we'd be putting the plaza at a disadvantage, in the city of St. Clair at a disadvantage if we don't allow him to put his flags out. And that's just my thought.
Yeah, I agree with Mitch on this. I understand what you guys are worried about as far as precedent goes, but precedent doesn't mean that every case has to be decided the same. What it means is that the people in a legal system are aware of the process. To come before us, you got to pay $250. This is not a free thing. Come before us, we're going to look at it on a case-by-case basis. Every business down there is not the same. The locations are all different. Businesses have been in existence longer than other businesses. New businesses, if anything in this town we should realize is our businesses need some help. And I'm not saying that we need to jump in wholeheartedly, but I don't think we should be a stumbling block. And I'm not saying that we're being a stumbling block if we don't approve this, but
I agree with you, Mayor. I think we're having a decent discussion about issues that came before us in the past. I don't think anybody is against the business downtown. Like I said, my hat's off to them. That's a big investment to make downtown. The plaza in itself creates a problem with the businesses along the backside of the plaza with advertising. And because we're having this discussion doesn't mean anybody's against it. I think the opposite. We should do everything we can possibly do to help business, any business in town. But I don't want to see flags lined up from J Street to Vine Street along the front of the mall because the guys in the back can't get advertising.
well, and that's what I'm saying on a case-by-case basis. If it was a year from now when he was open and everybody, I mean, he's been open, he's established his customer base and people know where he is, I would have a different point of view of the discussion. If a business from downtown in the mall came to me and they've been in business 20 years and they want to do the same thing, but they've got store frontage on 3rd Street, I would have to look at it on an individual basis. He has no store frontage on 3rd Street, and he's 150 feet off M29, and on M29 the cars are going by so fast I'm not sure they can even find him. So if we want to say, I mean, I want to say I want to help businesses, sure. I agree with Mitch. I mean, if we want to give this lip service that we want to help our businesses, we've got some other big things coming into this town. The St. Clair is not going to be a simple cut and dry deal. You know, the Ted's Coney Island is going to take some imagination and some cooperation. If this thing at the middle school occurs, that's going to take some imagination, some creativity, and some cooperation. I don't think that these flags, if you want to call them flags, are such a monumental thing. And I'm not saying anybody's saying they are. But as far as precedence goes, I guess that's my point, is I don't think that by doing this, we're setting a precedent that if somebody comes in next week and says, I want to do it too, that we can't look at that as an individual basis. You know, is that an accurate statement as far as precedent goes?
I think it is, Your Honor, yes.
I still think the timely review, I think the 200 and whatever days that Leslie's asking for should be a shorter term. I'm not saying that I'm against them. We had a problem with banners at one time down the mall. They all had them up and down the thing, and when planning got together, we changed the ordinance, we made them take them all down. Because nobody liked the way they all had banners up and down the riverfront. But I would like to see it reduced to maybe 90 or 100 days. And then come back to this group. It can be an automatic renewal. If we haven't any problem, then it's no brainer. But how do you tell a guy that's on the back side of the mall that you can't put a banner up on the street side where M29 is? You're right, the cars are moving half the time so fast they ain't even looking. But
Your Honor, is this something that we're going to take action on tonight?
Yeah, I got to add it to the agenda. That's my next thing.
If I may answer Tom's original question, I know the Plaza would like to do a lot of different things. Getting to see those activities take place is a whole other issue. The one thing that I'm going to do personally is I'm back on the board as of a week ago, and I'll be working very diligently with the ownership and the board down there to make those changes, get those in place, work through some larger issues that the area has, and hopefully we'll see those things get put in place over time. It's probably a year away from getting the big signs and all of that stuff. Everything takes a lot of time. Those directory boards have been up for 3 to 6 months. They're still blank. They need people to actually do things. I'm more of a doer than a talker. Again, and I know the timing does. It sounds like a lot of days, but that's 4 days a week. They go out when we're open. They come back in. We're only open so many hours out of the day.
Could we add a caveat to the amendment, or amend the request to say that we would approve the 208 days with with a review after the 104 days? If there's no issues, just let it go. Would that be a concern?
Well, you know what I was looking at, actually, Tom, you say that, if you're telling me that by September, you're gonna be have enough activity down there that it's not gonna be hard for people to find you, that puts you out to September's 128 days. And as you were saying that, I'm thinking, if we do what you just said, basically, say 128 days come September, automatic renewal unless there's some major snafu that we didn't foresee coming.
That's
And then
fair.
at the same time, you're good till September, and by that time, you could have your permanent sign in for all we know. Or if not, if we have to do an automatic or some kind of renewal with it.
Well,
I mean, if people are palatable to that, I mean, I think that's a fair compromise I think. Are you
By that
open to
time-
something like that?
I am. My original request was that it was, reviewed every 12 months. If that gets pared down to 6 months or 9 months, and the 9 months gets us within the window of building out. I'm targeting September for occupancy. There's a lot of work to get done by then.
Yeah.
Chances are, we may be lucky if we're in by the holidays.
I would approve the request with a.
Well, we're not gonna do that right now.
We're not?
I'm gonna do that down
Okay.
under new
Okay.
business. Yeah. It wasn't on here. We're gonna add it as D under new business.
Would we, would
Approve
we,
water,
would we also discuss at that time the request to throw some of this, the downtown sign ordinances back to planning? to
I have already
review?
talked to Dee Boyer, and Dee is going to bring that to planning. As a matter of fact, Dave Skirdo, we were in a conference call with him, he said, it's time that you guys review pretty much your whole master plan, because, you should do that. Economies change, business climate changes, so I think this is just a good way to prompt us to do that. Does the public have any comment on this they want to share with us? Are you all set? Okay, you can
Mr.
go back
Lockwood,
there.
you're awful quiet back there. You worked hard on the downtown.
It's a good one. Good answer. Does anybody else want to add anything to this?
So is our intent when it comes to the council to lower the,
To 128, automatic renewal unless there's a big problem between now and then. And 128 puts him into September. All right, then I'll close the public hearing, and I'm going to ask that you add to D, new business, approve war water request. That's D under new business. That was just an omission on my part. I'm sorry about that. All right, thank you, Mr. Paul. We'll go to 6, ordinance and resolution. A, ordinance adoption 21601, Museum Historical District. Annette, is that you? Or is that Mr. Lockwood? Who's going to, no? He's just giving up on everything, isn't he? Dang.
Your Honor, I can take that. This is just the adoption of the ordinance that was introduced at our last meeting. The ordinance designating the Museum Historical District was taken from the report authored by the Historic District Study Committee, recommending those two parcels that constitute the St. Clair Museum to be made into an historic district.
I would
Motion
move to
to
approve.
All right, the motion's been made.
I'll second that.
And supported. Is there any questions? Call the roll, please.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cuffa?
Yes.
Report?
yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes,
Adopted, Your Honor.
thank you. We'll go to B, ordinance adoption, St. Clair in Historical District.
Your Honor, similarly to item 6A, this is a follow-up on the ordinance that was introduced at our last meeting, which was developed from the recommendation of the Historic District Study Committee that proposes the St. Clair in Historic District compromising the parcels that are currently the St. Clair in Plan Unit Development.
Motion to approve.
Support.
All right, made and support questions? Call the roll, please.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cuffa?
Yes.
Report?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes,
Adopted, Your Honor.
thank you. We're going to go to C, ordinance introduction. This is the Chapter 10, Animals Penalty for Violation.
Your Honor, I can take that one as well. This is the product of a discussion that Chief Jefferson and I have really on an annual basis, just looking for ways that we might be able to improve or economize our ordinances. And currently, under our animal penalty provision, we have it written as a municipal civil infraction, and if we want to charge it as a misdemeanor, we have to go to another citation. This will allow us simply to combine those together and leave in the officer's discretion whether they want to issue a ticket for a municipal civil infraction or a misdemeanor in these circumstances. So,
city officer to make that.
That's correct.
Did something happen to bring this up?
It's just a review that we do at the end of each year, and it's just something that we've reviewed and feel it would just be a more economical way to handle things.
This is for what again?
For violations of the dog ordinance,
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Puffa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Adopted.
All right, thank
Or
you.
carried.
Go to 7, Ports Administration, Mr. Booth.
One item this evening, Your Honor, just a reminder that the city's 2015 financial audit will be done, will start next Monday. So, if you stop by City Hall, I've probably had a little piece of paper up on my door saying that I'm in a meeting. I've been very busy preparing for it, so,
Didn't we just get audited?
once a year.
Seems
Year
like we
flies
just did
by.
it. Okay, anything for Mr. Booth?
Yeah, I got a question, Bill. I got a gentleman call me this afternoon, wondered if all possible, get a little better signage on St. Clair Highway being closed, as far as maybe when you turn on St. Clair Highway. He lives on Palmer Street, and he said he gets a lot of traffic because you basically gotta go all the way to Palmer Street before you see the road closed sign. And he also asked me about,
There is something at the corner.
nothing on, I mean,
But-
nothing that tells you it's closed when you
Take a
turn
look
on
at
the.
it.
And he asked me about where he could find out about when the schedule for crack sealing, when his road would possibly be done, or if
He
there's
wants
a-
what, which road?
Palmer Street. He's just wondering if the city has a list of priorities on how we're gonna do this.
I don't have a list to give you.
Well, he just asked me how he could find out if there's gonna be a list somewhere down the line, or how he
If
would
you're
find
asking me to
out.
put a list together, absolutely, we can. There's
I mean,
nothing
what
for,
is our plan for repairing crack sealing roads? How are we gonna go about it?
Bill, if you'd like, I can give you an update at the next meeting. Pull something together. Okay?
Anybody else? Mr. Downey?
Your Honor, I don't have the follow-up I had promised at our last meeting on the issue relating to Senate Bill 571. I had indicated at the last meeting, in fact, I guess it was that earlier, the afternoon of the meeting we had, I'd spoken with Senator Pavlo about a plan that he saw coming through the State House to change the language about the so-called
Gag order.
Gag order, yes, thank you. And what's happened in the meantime is nothing. City of Algonac, a neighbor of ours here in St. Clair County, has actually been made a party as a plaintiff to a lawsuit that's been filed to try to get that statute overturned. So perhaps with the prompting from the judicial branch and the legislative action, I can provide another update by the time of our next meeting.
Did I see, am I just mixed up, or is February 5th a date when a judge is going to hear this and maybe put an injunction, a temporary injunction on it to?
That's a part of this
That's-
lawsuit that I
okay.
represented, yes.
All right.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
All right, anything from Mr. Downey?
Does that mean we have to wait until the,
We still have no guidance other than the law as written at this point, Councilmember Laporte.
All right, we'll go to C, City Departments. Annette, I know you have a,
I do. Just a quick announcement regarding the March 8th election. Monday, February 8th is the last day to register to vote for the presidential primary election. If you're unsure of your registration status, you can call the clerk's office or visit michigan.gov/vote.
thank you. Any other departments? All right, we'll go to D, Boards, Commissions, Committee Chairs, Council Reps. Anybody have anything tonight? Okay, and number 8, no unfinished, we'll go to new business. Number 9, A, approve special events permits for Chili Heart Run. Brief.
Yes, Your Honor, I received a request for approval of the special event permit for the East China School District's Educational Foundation to hold their annual 5K run and walk on the bike path that begins at the middle school and comes up through the city of St. Clair and then back to the middle school. This is going to be on February the 20th from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. I respectfully recommend approval of this event, and they have all the necessary documents to complete. Motion to approve. Support.
Any questions?
I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
right?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, what would be? Special events permit St. Clair Art Association 45th Annual Art Fair. Chief?
Although it's not summer yet, it's coming soon. I'm also in receipt for a special event for the St. Clair Art Association to hold its annual art fair on Friday, 6/24/26 from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the Palmer Park and Riverview Plaza. I respectfully recommend approval of this event, and they have all necessary documents and have been reviewed and are in compliance with the city.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion made, support. Anybody have anything? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, Chief, thank you. Have some more appointments to boards and commissions. It's a short list tonight. On the Recreation Commission, I'd like to appoint Blake Eitner of 858 North 6th Street for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2018. Planning Commission appoint Paul Wade, 1507 Fredmore Highway for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2008. Appoint Michael Port as council rep for 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2016. And reappoint Nancy Boda, 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve. Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I would also at this moment like to this, our Beautification Commission does have vacancies, and we do need some people to help beautify the city of St. Clair. Also, the Board of Review has one vacancy in Ward 2. We need someone from Ward 2 to serve on the Board of Review, and the Cemetery Board has one vacancy also. Please come into St. Clair, apply. We can use your help. We'll go to D. This is the item we added. This is the approval of the war water request for the variance.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We'll wait to clear up the language of it, right? Mr. Downing?
Well, the motion's been made as, I think, as presented, if I understand, Councilmember Cuffa, unless he wishes to amend.
I'll support.
Do you want to make it the 128 days?
Yeah, let's make it the 128 days. So
Okay.
I'd like to amend my
Motion.
Yeah.
And what are we saying as far as the review process?
With the understanding if there's not an issue, then we just automatically remove it. Doesn't cost him anything, and he doesn't have to even worry about it, so.
All right?
Yep.
Is that all right? Is that what you want?
Yes, support.
All right, the motion made. Support. Any questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cuffa?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. We'll go to claims and accounts, January 22nd and January 29th, 2016.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, let's go to number 11, public comment. Any questions? Anybody have anything tonight for the good of the group? Give us your name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Steve Kowalski, owner and operator of Steve's Towing at 5277 Gratiot in St. Clair. In the past year, I got on rotation with the sheriff department to, do the accidents and impound towing and stuff. When I moved on to the Gratiot location, we came to the police department to see about towing for the city, and we met all the credentials, handed in all our stuff, and we got put on on call. The past 4 or 5 months, I don't know, maybe we got 3-4 calls. I'm just kind of asking to see if we can maybe put our towing company on a rotation basis, like they do in the other areas in the county. Because right now, I guess it's up to the officers what towing company they use, so it's officer discretion. So I was just curious if we could maybe, get a rotation basis, so it kind of keeps it fair, between the companies. We can get to the city within 10 or 15 minutes. We're actually one of the closest companies. So I'm just kind of trying to encourage you guys to try maybe a rotation basis for the companies that tow for the city.
How does that work right now, Chief?
This is something I've discussed with Mr. Booth here, and I think because of some of the legalities, I would rather table this and have more discussion with the city attorney to bring it up to date here, what we've been doing here.
So you're just going to refer it to administration and get a recommendation.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now there's there's no contract with the city, so. And I'm not looking to say, hey, I want to be on the contract, use me, just like a rotation and stuff to keep it easy. I mean, because there's record services in the city being called multiple times a week, and when I got on, in the past 4 or 5 months, it's been like, not even one a month, you know what I mean? So just to kind of keep it fair, you know what I mean? We are in the, in the area. We got a same zip code address in St. Clair, so.
All right, thank you. We'll refer that to administration. We'll get some background and get some information. Mr. Booth will bring us back some stuff that we can look at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
Anybody else out there tonight? All right, we will go to number 12. Mayor, council members, comments, announcements.
February 21st, the harbor's having their polar plunge.
They need ice for that?
I don't know. I'm sure the water's cold.
Little sheet ice, but that's about it.
There was enough ice down the other day for the ice fishermen,
Not quite enough.
Did he fall through, did he?
I do have one announcement. This is just more good news for the city of St. Clair. The St. Mary's School Junior Varsity Basketball Team, 4th and 6th graders, won the Blue Water Parochial League regular season championship and tournament runner-up, coached by John Fitzmaurice. The team consists of Garrison Brown, Lucas Rhodes, Colin Corty, Jimmy Downey, Kyle Maaki. What's that word right there? Keegan Malcolm, Liam Nesbitt, and Henry Grace. So congratulations to those. Congratulations. Good job.
Can we invite them to our next council meeting?
Can you make that happen?
Do my best.
All right. Anybody else? I'm going to go to number 13. We're going to request a motion to go into closed session to discuss tragedy connected with the negotiation of collective bargaining agreement with employees represented by the Police Officers Labor Council, POs here. We take a motion, we'll come back. We're not going to take any action. When we come back, you're more than welcome to stay and wait just to tell us good night, but you are also welcome to leave if you like.
I'd move to approve the motion.
Support.
Call the roll, please.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman? Puffa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for coming, everybody.